Hello and good morning to you from a very misty, foggy Merseyside. I hope you are well. Good morning to Barbara, who's already in, ready and waiting. She's watching all the way from Florida, so thank you for being with me today. We're going to be making some lovely little necklaces. I'm using some gorgeous little kind of almost diamond cut in terms of the way they sparkle, little twisted tubes. So we're going to be using those to kind of make the necklace look, well, beautiful, but we're going to be stringing it on with Tigertail. We can't see the Tigertail, so that gives it shape and body. There's kind of little metal kind of spacer components. Lots of lovely coloured beads for you today. I'm going to do a little mix, I think. So I've got 4 colours in total, but I'm going to mix them all up and use all of the coloured crystals and all of the coloured beads, I think. So I hope you're well. Thank you for being with me today. Did you have a nice weekend? Were you up to anything exciting? Good morning to Fairness Born. She's in a cold, wet Barrow, and hello to Carol as well. So apologise for the delay. I was clicking go live and it was like, not sure. So hopefully you can all find me and we're all running on all platforms like we need to be. So you can make along with me today and you can get your kits. These are what I'm going to be making. So if I take you very quickly down onto the mat, you can see these beautiful necklaces. We've got a blue, a green, a purple and a pink for you to choose from. So I'll take you over to the website now and let you have a little look at the kits. The kits have been discounted and you're going to be making multiple necklaces up in your kits as well for a fantastic price today. Good morning to Joanne. She says, good morning, Natalie. Good morning to everybody. She's also in a misty, wet Coventry. I'm not in Coventry, but it is very misty and wet. It's just really foggy. It's quite nice, actually. Quite like it. It's got an atmosphere to it. But I think we're bringing in a little bit of the spring colours with these. Is my camera on? Yeah, just checking my hands. Can see. So good morning to you, Joanne. Hello to Kath. Good morning to Joy. She says, Happy New Year. Hello, Joy. Happy New Year. If you are just joining us this year, then we've been doing lives now for, is it a week or 2? I think it's 2. But we were a little bit higgledy-piggledy at the beginning. So I can't believe we're already on the 19th of January. There's only 400 more days of January to go. And spring will be on the way. So I'm going to take you over to the website now so you can see the kits. I've named today's Make Susan twist necklace. So we're using, I called it twist because you can see those lovely twisted shapes. I'll show you those components in their individual beauty. But over we go to the website. We are totalybeads.co.uk. And if I can get my camera to share, ta-da! There you go. If you go over to totalybeads.co.uk, you can head into the video tutorial categories. There's lots of ways to get in there. You can change your currency if you want to buy these from wherever you're watching from, just by clicking at the top there. And you'll see some of our recent makes. And this one here is the Susan twist necklace. Now they're 4 individual necklaces. I've just stacked them up on the bust and I didn't position them in any particular way. I literally just popped them over the bust, and I think they look lovely if you did want to kind of stack them up and you wanted to layer them. In your kits today, you're going to be able to make 3 necklaces, so they should be £12.99. They've been discounted already for you today at £11.69. I have checked all of the description, all of the colour is correct, and the photographs are what I've taken, so they are true today. Apologise for some issues we had on last live with some of the things saying out of stock. They're all in stock, so if you did want to go back in and watch last Wednesday's live, those are there for you as well. But today is the Susan twist necklace. Each of your kits, as I say, is going to make up to 3 necklaces. So we've got a blue, green, a mink and a pink. So I'll show you what is in each one. So the only thing that changes colour is your crystals and the beads. All of the sizes and the other components are the same. So we're using glass pale round beads, crystal bicone beads, these beautiful wave tubes, which I will show you on the mat so you can see how pretty they are. And so they have a diamond cut to them, so they're very, very sparkly and twinkly, and they're going to create that form and that shape, which I think just adds to a really delicate look. It's really nice on your neckline when you wear it. We've got some rondelles for you. I'm using Tigertail Wire, I'm using about 50 centimetres of the Tigertail. You're getting your crimp beads, your callottes, your jump rings and your lobster clasp as well. If you want to know exactly what sizes and what components I'm using, well, they're the wave diamond cut tubes, which are 20 millimeters in size. You've also got your premium bicones in these, which are 3 millimeters. So the sizes will remain the same in whichever colour you get, but they're just going to change colour. So this one in the blue colourway, I'm using the light sapphire blue. I'm using 6 millimeter pearls in denim blue and 4 millimeter in lagoon. And then we've got those 6 millimeter rondelles as well, which are really, really pretty. They're down as antique silver, but for me, they're just very, very shiny. Antique silver usually has kind of, I think, more of a kind of patinaed look to it. So you can see the depth in those little kind of grooves along the outside. These are very, very shiny, and I think they look really beautiful with the wave tubes, which are also silver. So all of your findings today are going to be silver regardless of what colour you choose. That means your lobster clasp, which is 12 millimeter in size, your jump rings, which are outer diameter 6x1, will be silver, and your callottes and crimp beads will be silver too. So it'll be the crystals and the pearls that are changing colour. So that one is your blue colourway, how it looks when worn. And as usual, they always look much better, I think, when on than when just on the mat or on your jewellery box or whatever, lying flat. This one is the green Susan Twist necklace, still making 3 for just £11.69. You're going to get all of the same components in terms of sizes, but I'm using beautiful green coloured ones here. So I've got light sea foam in 4 millimeter glass pearl. I've got beautiful forest green in 6 millimeter and light green bicone beads in 3 millimeter as well. So that one is your gorgeous green colourway. I'm liking that one. I'm liking them all. That's why I'm going to mix them up, I think, today and use a little bit of all sorts. We've got the mink here as well. So these are more your purpley tones. I've got grape in 4 millimeter, mink in 6 millimeter, which is kind of like a, it's kind of like a very, like a blush purpley pink is how I would explain what mink looks like. I've actually painted one of my walls in a mink colour. Well, that's what the description says, but for me, the paint that I've got is like an off-white. It's got no warmth to it. It's warm, but not in the pinky purple way that this mink is. This to me is what's mink. But this is what I usually associate. It's beads. Anything else, I just see beads. And then I'm using the clear bicones here in 3 millimeter, which are beautifully sparkly. The bicones are gorgeous in this, and they're just going to add that extra little bit of twinkle running along the pattern of the beads. Now you can put your beads together whichever way you want. You're getting enough to make 3 necklaces. I'm going to be using, in terms of the number of the components, I'm going to be using 10 twist tubes in each of the makes. I'm going to be using 20 pieces of the silver rondelles in each of the necklaces. I think I've got 28 pieces of the 3 millimeter bicone, 14 of your 4 millimeter pearl, and 13 of your 6 millimeter pearl. That's because I've arranged my pattern like this, but you can do whatever you want with that. As I say, you're getting enough to make 3, so you're going to have 30 twist tubes in your kit today. You can place them how you wish, and once you've got that pattern, you could do your next one in a completely different formation using all the same beads, but you're going to get a completely different look how you place those components together. This one is the pink, and here we have the rose bicone, the watermelon 6 millimeter, and the rose pink in 4 millimeter. So you can design these however way you wish. If you want to make 3 of exactly the same necklaces, then you can do that. Like, you can follow my pattern and you can start from your culotte and just straight string all the way through. If you're going to play around with design and colour, which I'm going to play around with the colour today, I'm going to keep the design the same, but I think I'm going to go for, say, purple in the center, then I'll do blue either side. I'm going to work from the center of my tiger tail because I'm going to be kind of changing up the design a little bit in terms of the colour today to show you on the live, because they are beautiful, beautiful pearls and gorgeous crystals, and I kind of want to show them all off and think they would look beautiful together. If you want to mix your colours, then you can multiply as well. We've got that discount on for you, so you'd be able to make 6 necklaces if you got 2 different kits, and you could mix those colours if you wish. So lots of scope for you to play around with the design today. I don't think I've ever used these twist tubes before. When I seen them, I just thought they were really, really pretty. I think they'd make really pretty bracelets as well, or components in earrings. So if you have some left over, if you are changing the design, or you don't want to do all 3 of your necklaces, then you might want to make a necklace, a bracelet, a pair of earrings, and you can change them up as well. If you do, please share it on our handmade page, because I'd very much like to see your take and your spin on it. I'm going to head back into the comments very quickly before we start, and I'm going to say hello. Joy says, well, I've been busy, not always been watching. It's absolutely wonderful to have you whenever you can be with me. I really, really appreciate your company. Good morning to Angela. Joe's in as well. Hello, sweetheart. Not seen you for a little while. I have seen you in the comments, but lovely to have you here on my live. I hope you're doing well. Angela says, I love the twist bit. It makes the necklace stand out. It just gives it something a bit different than just straight stringing your beads, really. Fairness Born is loving the green, and Sheila says good morning to everybody. So I'm going to take you down on the mat now. I'm going to show you how these look in their colour and their glory. I will move them so we've got enough focus on each one. So this is your beautiful pink. If I can hold it up, you can see the colours I'm using there. These aren't looking as pink right now, but they are pink. My light's not great. When I first put the camera on today, I thought I was in black and white. I checked my settings. I think it's just because it's so foggy. The light's a little bit distorted coming through the window outside, and I think it's like, I don't know, but they are beautifully pink, this colourway. Good morning, Stacey. How are you doing? Another one from Florida. Thank you for being with us today. These are your twist tubes. Can you see how pretty they are? Now, you can place them around whichever way you want to. You can have them going the other way. You can create lots of kind of shape and movement with your piece. And then we've got these very pretty bicones as well. Not to be overshadowed by these gorgeous little spacers. So this is how my spacer looks. You can see they are antique silver, but they're just really, really shiny. They've got that lovely little etched kind of wheel going all the way around. And then when you place them on this way onto your necklace, you can see they've just got that lovely shape. And again, that light is going to be bouncing off all of those little etched parts of your spacer beads. So it's just going to make everything really, really twinkly with the cut of the bicones and, of course, these beauties as well. So if I hold them up close, you can see. I'm sorry, I've been bleaching and cleaning this morning, so my hands look a little bit dry. Should have put some lotion on. But they're very, very pretty, very twinkly. And as I say, you can arrange these in whichever way you want to. So this is the pink colourway here for you. I've also got this gorgeous blue. Now, blue is always a favourite of mine. I love these colours together. I think using the denim blue and, what was the other one? It was denim blue, and it was a lagoon. So the 4mm, the smaller one's a lagoon, and the 6mm a denim blue in this colourway. Using these together, they just kind of, they remind me of bluebells. They remind me of spring. I think they're really, really, really pretty. Stacey says this is super pretty. Thank you so much. Good morning, Julie, as well. She says, hello, Natalie and everybody. Hope you're well. Beautiful make today. And of course, they've all fallen into a basket. Thanks so much, Julie. It's much appreciated. So these bicones as well are absolutely gorgeous. You can just see all the light bouncing off them. My camera like struggles sometimes to pick it up because everything's just so shiny. But it's a nice size necklace. It doesn't sit too long. It's kind of a princess length, I would imagine. And you can, of course, you can make this a little bit longer. You can make it smaller. You can add extra twisted tubes in. You can add extra beads in. You're going to get plenty. The beads are really only used quite sparingly, hence why you're making at least 3. I'm sure you'll probably have some left over as well. But rather than break up the strands and give you the exact amount that we need for components, we might as well give you lots to play with, and then you can do as you wish. So that one is the blue one. I do think they look gorgeous together as well. So if you wanted to multi-buy and mix your colours up, you absolutely could, and they would kind of fit in nicely around each other. This one is the mink with our purples. So we've got the grape, and then we've also got those gorgeous clear crystals there as well. So just playing around with the pattern on how I string them on, really, making little stations or units of beads. And the reason why I would suggest, if you are changing up the design, to start in the middle is so you can work outwards and you can get that symmetry either side. You don't have to, but I quite like having symmetry on my jewellery. Some people like asymmetrical, and that's absolutely your prerogative. Then we've got this gorgeous green as well. So if I hold these up, you can see how pretty those beads are. All of the components working really nicely together. If I do say so myself, put these colourways together, and I just like mixing up shades. So it's all predominantly green, it's just using different shades and tones. Joanna, who agrees, she says the spaces look like tiny flying saucers, gorgeous colours. I love the tubes, very unusual. Hello to Anastasia as well, good morning to you. They do look like little spaceships. Well, I don't know, I've never seen a spaceship, so they're cute though, really pretty. Okay, so we're going to start making. I'm going to start by cutting my tiger tail to about 50 centimetres. I can't remember how much that is in inches, but you can make it to whatever size you want. I always say cut that little bit longer because when you fasten on your findings at the end, it's nice to have a little bit to hold on to, and then it just makes it so much easier and a lot less fiddly. Just want to make sure that I'm all in shot. I might need to just move a little down a bit. So I'm going to start my pattern with the kind of purpley mink colours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beads, I'm going to work from the centre and work all the way out. If you're going to repeat your pattern, then what you might find it's easier to do is start with your callotte, and then that's going to act as like a stopper bead, and you can just thread on all the way around as you go. And when I was making multiples of these, I've made 4 samples, I started the first one in the center, got the pattern that I wanted, and then the others I just replicated by starting from the end and working out. Because today I'm going to play around with colour, and you might be wanting to play around with colour or the order of your beads, then I'd suggest to start from the center and work outwards. You might want a bead stopper at some point, but I tend to thread on both sides as I go, and that's going to create that symmetry. So I'm going to start off right in the center with one of my 6mm beads, and this is kind of the purpley mink colourway. And then either side of that, I'm going to add on my 4mm. So I'm going to put one onto one side and one onto the other side of my tiger tail. I'm then going to add in my beautiful clear twinkly little bicones. They're only 3mm in size. They're all fitting nicely onto the tiger tail. It's not too snug. It's really, really pretty and just gives that little extra flash of sparkle. So one of those going on either side. And again, there's no right or wrong way. You can put the beads on however you want to. But with this design, you're going to have enough to make 3. After the bicone, I'm going to put my first spacer on. Now, what's lovely about these spacers is they fit really nice against the 3mm bicone, but they also fit really lovely against a 6mm bead and a 4mm bead as well. They are, I think it was 6mm going right across, but obviously you've got that kind of inner as well, so it just lends itself to be used against lots of lovely beads. So after I've put my little spacers on, I'm then going to go back for a 6mm onto either side. I'm going to add another one of my spacers and finish with a bicone. And then I'm going to do that again either side. So I just want that pattern to sit right in the middle, and that will be the center of my necklace. Now I'm going to come in with my first twisted tube. Now it's up to you how you want to place these. I like to put them on in the same kind of direction. You'll see as I'm looking at them, they do have a wiggle, like an S curve, so you can change which way round you want those on. I tend to want to place them really kind of in the same direction, so I think I'm going to have them the same direction as each other, but maybe just coming down a little bit in that direction. But again, it looks like a little mustache. You do it however you want. There's no right or wrong. Now I've popped the bicone at the end, and the reason why I've done that is if I was to put one of my spacers, you'll see that tube would fit all the way through, which is gorgeous actually, but then we've got that movement. So by just popping the bicone on between that spacer, that's going to ensure that my tube fits in the right place. And although it's got that curve through it, all you need to do is just pull that down. So threading it on, I want that curve kind of going upwards. So I'm going to push the tiger tail through, and it will just bend through that curve coming out the other side. If you need a little bit of extra purchase, just take your pliers and give it a little push, and it should just feed through. Now what this is going to do is, because it hugs the tiger tail quite closely, it's going to keep my beads in position. So I'm going to bring the ends up just to make sure I'm getting that in the center. So I don't have one long piece on one side of the tiger tail. And then I'm going to shape it like that. And I'm just checking that they are kind of traveling in the same direction. I know I'm quite far down on the map there. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to go, I think, for my beautiful blue colorway. I'm going to go for the lagoon. So I'm going to do my bicone and then my 4mm pearl in this color, and then another bicone. I'm going to slide that right down next to that curved tube. I'm loving the mix of colors already. And then repeat that on the other side. So bicone, little 4mm pearl, and another twinkly blue sapphire bicone. I'm now going to add on my next twisty tubes. So I'm going to take 2, and I think this time I want them to face that way. So the curve is going to go like so. Again, picking up my tube. Just a really easy threading project today, but by using these lovely components, it's going to give you something a little bit different. Of course, it's going to be handmade and handcrafted by yourself, but having those metal twist tubes is just going to give it that something extra, because people might not necessarily know that that is a tube and a bead essentially. You know, it's got that lovely form to it. Good morning, Camille. I hope you're okay. Heather says she's loving these. Thank you so much. I hope you're all doing okay. If you are just coming in, then this is the Susan twist necklace. So now I've popped my little twist tubes on, I'm going to go for my section here, which I'm going to go with the pink this time round. So the pattern I've chose for this bit is a bicone, a spacer, and a 6mm. And then I'm going to use another one of the spacers And then I'm going to use Bicone. And then I'm going to drop into my smaller pearl, which is 4mm, another 6mm pearl, and then a 4mm, and then I'm going to go for a Bicone again, a spacer, a 6mm with these lovely kind of watermelon colours, another spacer, and finishing with a Bicone. So that's going to sit around the side of my necklace. And then I'm going to repeat that pattern on the other side. So we've got Bicone, spacer, 6mm pearl, and you can lay it next to yourself as you go. When I was doing the necklace last week, I missed a bead, didn't I? So I was like, oh, it was easily fixed, but I think we just want to make sure that we've got that symmetry matching. So even if I'm changing the colours, all of your beads in your kit, if you're just getting the one kit, is all going to be the same colourway. So you'll get all of the pinks in your kit, or all of the greens, or all of the minks and purples. So you can just copy this pattern out if you want to. So then I'm going to go for a Bicone, a spacer, a 6mm bead, another spacer, and finishing with that pretty pink Bicone. So I'm just laying them up against each other to check that I've got that pattern correct. And now I'm going to add my next pair of twisted tubes. So again, have a little think about which way round you want it to bend. I think I might go for this way. And then when you're happy with that, just sliding it on through, give it a little push. Sometimes it takes a little bit of, not force, but just a push to get it through, because that curve is quite prominent. And slide that down and just push gently against the beads. So it's looking like this so far. And if you want to reposition anything, you absolutely can, and you can give it a little flip round. So I think now I'm going to start on my green section. So I'm going to be using these lovely colours. So I'm going to get those out of my packet. And these Bicones are just gorgeous. So apologise for rustling around in my bag. I couldn't decide what I wanted to use this morning. Usually I have them all out ready to go. And there's just so many of them. So let me just take these off the string. A little cut open. Ah, thanks, Jo. She says your nails are lovely, Natalie. I love the iridescent sparkle. I was just I've just stuck little things on them, but gold glitter hides a multitude of sins, as I'm sure you know. So now I've got this section, I'm going to do a Bicone, pearl, a spacer, a larger pearl, the spacer, and then I'm going to go back down to the smaller pearl, and then a bicone. And repeat that on the opposite side. So we go bicone, 4mm pearl, spacer, 6mm pearl, spacer, 4mm pearl, and finishing these little sections with the bicone. And again, the next 2 twisty tubes. So this time I think I'm gonna travel it that way. Doesn't really matter, I just kind of want them the same on either side. No, I'm gonna flip it. And then the same, so it's kind of pointing inwards. Give it a little push through. If you need to, take your pliers till it comes out the other side. Doesn't want to come through that one. I've got a spare, so it will go through. I just don't want to force it because you can see I'm putting a little bit of a kink in the tiger tail there. So this one's just as bendy, but yeah. Just give that a little straighten out. And then I want to give that a flip round too. There you go. Let me get another one of my twisty tubes ready to go. So I'm just going to be using 10 of the twisted tubes in total. Jo says, yeah, if in doubt, add glitter. And she's saying hello to Mina. Have you been busy, Jo? Jo is a fantastic nail technician and crafter as well. There's lots of other things that you do. Making jewellery. Are you making any jewellery lately? Okay, so once I've got these little bits on, I'm going to go back into this pattern and I'm going to use the blue again. So let me move those out of the way. I'm going to go for, now I haven't used any of the denim blue in this one, but I think the lagoon and the sapphire crystals are just gorgeous. So really straightforward for this pattern, just repeating that with my bicone, 4mm, and the bicone. And then my last 2 twisty tubes. Sliding that on through. And through the other side as well. Is it my tiger tail? I've not had an issue getting any of the tubes on. It's because I've put that kink in it there. There you go. And I'm just looking at how that's shaped. And then I'm going to finish off Should I finish with the green one again? Should we finish with the green? Should we finish with the purpley mink? Yeah, let's finish with the purpley mink. Let's get all the beads out. So I'm going to need my bicones. And I'm going to go for my larger pearl. Rustling, sorry. I'm not really. I can never remember what it's called. Is it ASMR or whatever it's called? Good morning, Rani. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. These are the Susan twist tube necklaces, and I'm getting carried away using all of the beads. So just finishing off my pattern here. I'm not going to be using any more twist tubes. I think this is a nice size for me. I'm going to use the bicone, the spacer, a 6mm bead, and then working backwards with the spacer and the bicone. And then same again, repeating that pattern on the other side. Bicone, spacer, 6mm pearl, and finishing with the spacer and the bicone. Now, if at any point you think, I've done that wrong, I don't like this, you can slide it off. There's nothing fixed at this stage. This is just easy for you to play around with. This is my design. If I can flatten it out, I might get it all in shot. Jo says she's very, very busy, but she's skiving off right now. She should be doing a tax return. Not done much beading for months. I did make a card charm for a customer last week, though. Amina's been busy doing a tax return as well. Good morning, Anne. How are you doing? She says good morning. And she's late, but it looks lovely. She's going to watch back later. And Rani says, is the kink actually a twist tube? I was wondering how you got that effect. Just joined. Yes, I'm using these beautiful diamond cut little beads. So they're tubes, so you can travel that all the way through. So it does look like a wire make. It looks like you've kind of somehow miraculously made these yourself. They're really, really straightforward to use, really, really gorgeous, and you can see the cut on them is just giving that absolute twinkle and shine, which is just echoed into those lovely spaces that we're using and the cut on the crystals as well. So once you're happy with the size and the length that you've got, it's just time to add on our findings. So if you want to, you can pop a bead stopper onto one end while you're working on the other. I'm going to take my callotte. I'm going to travel my tiger tail up through the centre of it, so those two little loops are facing outwards, and that's just going to be sitting nicely on top of that little bicone. I'm then going to take my crimp beads. I'm going to be doing 2 crimp beads on each side just to make it extra sturdy and strong. So if you wanted to, usually I slide my make right up to the end of the tiger tail. Because the tubes are kind of holding it into position, I'm going to cut off the end on both sides. So I'm going to just add on my first crimp bead, and I'm not crimping my crimp beads, I'm just pushing it down into the bottom of the callotte and flattening it. So I'm taking my chain nose or my tweezer nose pliers, and I'm just going to flatten that down, placing my next crimp bead on top of the last one, so it's still sitting inside of that callotte, and we want to flatten it in the same direction. I'm trying to get this in shot so you can see. So we're going to flatten them almost together, as close as can be, and then I'm going to come in with my cutters and I'm just going to cut off any excess tiger tail before I close that callotte over both of those crimp beads. So 2 crimp beads will sit nicely inside it, just bringing those loops together and then adding a little bit of pressure onto the callotte just to form it, so it gives it a nice professional finish. I'll line them up a little bit better than that. if need be. And then on with the other side. Again, going to take my callotte and have those loops facing outwards so I can attach my jump ring on in a little bit. Going to add on my first crimp bead and let that fall right down to the bottom of the clot. At this point, just give your necklace a once over. Make sure you're happy with the position of everything and you've got that tension. We don't want any gaps. We want to make sure that these beads are sitting close to the tubes and my callotte is sitting next to the bicone. And also give it that curved shape. So you can see here I'm curving it into a necklace shape. So then when I pop my tweezers nose pliers in, I'm just going to flatten that crimp bead down and again adding on the next one, making it nice and strong and durable, having that crimp bead so you can see it's rounded at the moment, and then all I need to do is flatten it close to the last one. Coming in with the cutters just to trim off any excess tiger tail, and then positioning the callotte over the crimp beads, flattening them down, and a little press just to join them together. You can see now that that's acting as like a little bead, nice and neat, no sharp edges, all lovely. All that's left to do is attach on your clasp and your jump rings. So you're going to get enough jump rings to make 3 necklaces and enough clasps to make 3 necklaces. Do think it would make a pretty bracelet as well. So by all means, if you wanted to make a necklace up and then maybe a couple of bracelets, you can do that instead. So opening the jump ring, I give it a little click to close and twist towards me to open. Only need to open it by a couple of millimeters, just enough to hook that jump ring through those 2 little loops, which are now acting as one closed around that callotte, and then closing it up by moving it away from me and checking that it's perfectly aligned. If it isn't, take it slightly past the point that those 2 ends meet, and then they should close beautifully. You want it so you can't really see where the opening of the jump ring is. Again, taking the next jump ring, you can see it's slightly staggered. So I give it a little twist to begin with to close it up, a little turn towards me to open, sliding through the callotte end, and then picking up my lobster clasp and sliding that through as well. So I've got a 12mm lobster clasp which is provided for you in the kits. Turning it away, if you hear that little click, it's lovely because it just means those 2 ends are just really lovely and aligned. If it's not, take it slightly past the point where they 2 meet and then it should spring back closed. And that is your gorgeous Susan twist necklace. I'm loving the mix of colours, really am. Really, really pretty. I might attempt to put it on for you so you can see how it looks. Kath says it's really pretty, Natalie. Thank you very much. So I do have my gorgeous necklace on from my mum today and my earrings. They're Blue John Fluorite. She got me them for my birthday. But I think this neckline shouldn't, I've got a sparkly jumper on, but this is how your necklace will look. So do ignore my other one. That's quite nice together, isn't it? Like bringing in those purples. Sheila says very pretty. Thank you so much. So this is the Susan twist necklace for you today. I will take you very quickly back over to the website so you can see where you can get your kits. If you head over to totallybeads.co.uk. Where's my page? Where's it gone? Where's the website? There it is. little bit of a delay. There you go. So these are our Susan Twist necklaces. You can see you can choose from the blue, the green, the mink, or the pink. And if you can't decide, you can multi-buy and get a few of them and make one like I've done with all of the colours. Very, very pretty, very spring-like. They are just £11.69 today, which means they've been reduced for you. They should be £12.99. So you're making 3 necklaces in whichever colour way you choose. They're all on silver findings and twisty tubes and spacers, but the colours of the crystals and the beads vary depending on which colour that you want to. You can of course change your currency at the top of the page, so wherever you are in the world you can see how much it would be, and then shipping will be calculated for you for wherever you are in the world on the last page. We also have something I don't often mention, and I probably should. We have a points like reward system over on Totally Beads. So if you go into onto the main page, each time you buy something, you see all of our wonderful info. Where's it gone? I knew I wasn't going to be able to find it. We have a rewards thing anyway. So each time you buy something, you accrue points, and then they can be added towards your next order. Where's that gone? It's there. When you go into your shopping basket at the end, there we go, reward points, it's right at the top. So you can see here, every time you spend £1 with us, you get up to 2 reward points. So once you've got 250 reward points, you instantly get £2.50 off your purchase. So you automatically collect your points every time you make an order with us. You don't have to be, adding them in extra. They're just automatically added to your account. They're really easy to redeem at checkout once you hit that 250 points, and they never expire, which is wonderful. A lot of the time you'll have a voucher or something and it'll be for a limited time only. So when we do our lovely makes like today's Susan Twist tube, you'll see that we do have an offer on it at the moment, and we've discounted that already for you. So it should be £12.99. It's just £11.69. That offer can change, but your points and rewards won't. So they will be there with you for however long you choose to keep your account with us at Totally Beads. And I always find it really good to accrue them and then think, well, I might as well just get that. Oh, well, I might as well get that. And then I also think, well, if I get this and I get this and I've got that many points, then that in my head means I don't have to pay for postage because my points will kind of counteract that. So make the most of it. And have a little look. There's loads of things on the website that you can shop for. We've got lots of lovely goodies in as well. Sheila says, another nice make, Natalie, thank you. And Mina says, I love my reward points. Fairness Born, thank you. She says they're beautiful. Rani says they're beautiful as well. What will I be doing on Wednesday? Oh, wait till you see Wednesday. Wednesday I am making these beauties. Now, they're on magnetic clasps, so they've all joined together like one amazing long necklace, but they're actually bracelets. So on Wednesday, if you come and join me, I'm going to be making, I suppose they're chainmail. I'm using jump rings, but I'm using the most gorgeous coloured dyed jade as well. And I've got an abundance of beautiful metal choices for you to choose from, whether that be champagne, whether it be rose gold finish, whether it be rhodium, whether it be gold, whether it be silver. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're very straightforward and simple to do. And if you can join me on Wednesday, I will show you how they look. I want to wear them all. I want them all stacked. And I love the fact that when you have a magnetic clasp, they just go on really, really easy. So Amina says, woo. It's like like a panto. So that's what I'm going to be making with you on Wednesday. If you can come and join me then, I have named Wednesday's make, what did I name it? Leonie. So if you can come and join me at 10 a.m. UK time on Wednesday, that's what I'm going to be doing. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful start to your week. Thank you for being with me again today, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.